The dinner had started like any other. Fine china, crystal glasses, and the hum of polite conversation that always seemed more rehearsed and heartfelt. I sat at the head of the table, trying to mask the fatigue of the past weeks with a polite smile. The staff moved quietly around us, ensuring every glass was full, every plate perfectly presented. It was a setting designed for appearances, for power, for the illusion that everything was under control. Then came the comment. He doesn't run anything. Let him eat with the staff. My wife's sister sneered, her voice sharp enough to cut glass. She tilted her chin in that infuriating way, the one she always used when she wanted to assert dominance, to make someone feel small. All eyes seemed to turn toward me, and for a moment I considered rising, leaving the room, walking away from the humiliation she seemed to relish. My wife said nothing. She just looked down at her plate, fingers lightly tapping, as though she were in a silent agreement with her sister. I could feel my chest tightening, my blood pressure spiking, but I didn't move. I didn't need to. I smiled, calmly, smoothly, not the polite smile that masked tension, but a different one, the kind that comes with knowledge, with control, with quiet certainty. I pulled out my phone from the pocket of my tailored suit and unlocked it. Everyone at the table, my wife, her sister, the other guests, paused. A subtle shift occurred, a ripple in a room that hinted something was about to break. Cancel the contract, I said, my voice steady, controlled. The words barely left my lips before the consequences hit. $40 million vanished. Just like that. The contract, a massive deal that had been negotiated for months, was gone. Every person at the table realized it simultaneously. The power dynamic had shifted in an instant. The sister's smirk faltered, her confidence unraveling like fragile silk. My wife froze, eyes wide, staring at me as if she had just seen a ghost. I let the silence hang for a moment, letting it fill the space between us, letting it sink in. This wasn't about money. This was about betrayal, about power, about respect. I had allowed too much, tolerated too much, and now the truth had to be seen. Weeks before, I had begun to notice the signs. The late-night calls that she claimed were work, the hushed tones in corners, the sudden interest in matters that didn't involve me but always involved her sister. I had dismissed them at first. Love, I told myself, shouldn't be suspicious. But the unease had grown, like cracks appearing under a smooth surface. I had hoped, prayed, that I was wrong. Then came the evidence. Emails, messages, financial irregularities, all pointed to the fact that she had been undermining me, quietly colluding, and keeping her sister as her confidant. It was a betrayal that wasn't physical but deeper, more cutting, an erosion of trust, the theft of shared dreams, the manipulation of the life we were supposed to be building together. At that dinner, the culmination became clear. The sister's comment wasn't just an insult. It was a message, a declaration that they thought they could humiliate me, diminish me, take control of a world I had built alongside the woman I loved. And my wife's silence? That was complicity. That was approval. That was a betrayal itself. I had a choice. I could rise, argue, scream, or I could act. The phone in my hand was a tool, yes, but more importantly, it was a symbol that I refused to be powerless, refused to be humiliated, refused to be undermined. With one sentence, one simple command, I reclaimed what they thought they could take from me. The room's energy shifted immediately. Staff stopped mid-step. Glasses trembled. The other guests glanced at each other nervously. $40 million. A figure most people spend a lifetime chasing, vanished from their world in a heartbeat. And I sat back, calm and control, my eyes never leaving my wife's frozen face. I realized then that betrayal doesn't always come with shouting. It comes with quiet complicity, with whispers in hallways, with the subtle reshaping of loyalties behind closed doors. It comes in the choices we don't notice until the damage is done. And sometimes it takes a decisive act, a moment of clarity, to level the playing field again. After that night, our relationship was irreparably changed. She avoided my gaze. Her sister's presence became a silent tension in the room, and I moved with new awareness of the fragility of trust. The money wasn't the point. It was a lesson. Respect cannot be demanded. It must be earned. And those who try to diminish others often underestimate the quiet power of patience, observation, and timing. I kept my life, my company, my dignity intact. I also realized that love and trust, once broken, cannot simply be repaired with apologies. They leave scars that shape the way we interact with the world, the way we choose our allies, and the way we never again allow anyone to belittle us without consequence. The lesson was stark, unyielding, and unforgettable. Betrayal can strike in silence, but the response, the measured, intelligent, precise response, can be louder than any insult, more powerful than any wealth, and more devastating than anyone could anticipate. From that night on, I moved carefully, aware of the duplicity that can exist in the closest of relationships, and determined that no one, not even the person I loved most, would ever have the power to undermine me again. $40 million was gone to them, but the real victory was reclaiming control over the life I refused to let anyone betray.